This is the Off the Beaten Path podcast with Ben Merritt.
Hey, I'm Taylor Swift.
Hi, I'm Luke Bryan.
This is the Zach Brown Band.
And you won't be hearing any of that here.
Stare at the red light, turns green and runs to hide. From the loop I'm riding in the fast lane. Every lipstick set to impress, the eyeshadow hides a look of death. Poison drink by drink, 2 or 3. Laced up boots and a sweet summer tan, low-cut jeans with a torn-off tee. That girl just wants to shine. She sings back in black in a red straw hat, takes the girls for a ride and meets the boys out back. Rides a boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girls back in black. Straw hat, takes the girls for a ride and meets the boys out back. Rides the boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girl. When she walks into the room, Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots, she's so fine, she's all mine. Girl. Laced up boots and a sweet summer tan, low-cut jeans with a torn-off tee. The girl just wants to shine. She sings back in black in a red straw hat, takes the girls for a ride, meets the boys out back. Rides a boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girls back in black in a red straw hat, takes the girls for a ride and meets the boys out back. Rides a boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girl. Insane country girl. Back in black. She sings back in black in a red straw hat, takes the girls for a ride and meets the boys out back. Rides a boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girls back in black in a red straw hat, takes the girls for a ride and meets the boys out back. Rides a boat, she gets drunker than hell. You hear a rebel yell from the insane country girl. Insane country girl.
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt. There you go. That's Jamie Campbell and the Redneck Romeos. From my kind of neck of the woods. I'm in northern Wisconsin. They're in southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, but close enough. They're members of the Badger State. Actually, Jamie Campbell, if you recognize the name, then there's probably a chance that you used to be a Nashville Star fan. He used to be a competitor. He was a former competitor on Nashville Star. So the man's got himself some talent, and now he's got himself a backing band that's got some talent as well. And that was their tune. That was Insane Country Girls. It's true. Some of them aren't just nuts, too, by the way. But again, yeah, there's Jamie Campbell and the Redneck Romeos. Check them out on Facebook at Jamie Campbell, the Redneck Romeos. Just drop the word and. And also, you can find their website with a lot of details on there, too, jcrrrocks.com. So there you go, Jamie Campbell and the Redneck Romeos. Ben Merritt, I have got a very special guest today, Joe Allen, Mr. Joe Allen. And Joe is a very cool guy, actually. I've gotten to meet him and hang out with him a couple of times. He's a very cool dude, partly because he's from Idaho, I would have to say. It takes a special kind of person to be from Idaho. But it also takes a very special kind of person to be married to a service person, and he does that very, very well. As a matter of fact, that's something we talk about a lot at great length later on in the interview. So stick around for that. Joe Allen coming up in a little bit. Right now, it's time for Tim Ash. You can find him on Facebook, The Real Tim Ash 2. No Twitter account for him. We'll have to get on that. So he was in a serious work accident back in 2000, which reignited his love and drive for music. And man, are we glad that he did so. Here is his brand new one. This is called Broke. This is Tim Ash on Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Like an old rusty car, hauled off to the scrapyard, won't start, choke, don't work and the clutch won't pop. It's sitting up on blocks, it's broke. Like a man with no money in his wallet, got a hole in his pocket. He used to have $1, but he lost it. Dang. My heart ain't ever gonna mend. No quick fix, make it new again. Ain't no patching up, we're over, it's good, it's gone. It's broke, like a neighbor's window where the baseball came through. Uh-oh, big hole, glass scattered in the kitchen. Now listen, my heart ain't ever gonna mend. No quick fix, make it new again. Ain't no patching up, we're over, it's good, it's gone. It's broke, everybody's crying out harder. It's broke, but I'll take one of those any day. It's broke into pieces and there ain't no way to put it back together. No, never, forever, and ever it's broke. Broke, like a hammer to an egg. Joe Theismann's leg when she said goodbye. Snap. Now why'd you have to go and do that? My heart ain't ever gonna mend. No quick fix, make it new again. Ain't no patching up, we're over, it's good, it's gone. Oh no, it's broke. Yeah, it's broke.
Like us on Facebook
Are you on Facebook or Twitter?
at facebook.com/offthebeatenpath.
Twitter?
And follow us on Twitter at OTBP Podcast.
Yeah, I'm a little burned out from a hard week. Need to slow down, need to find me. I need a little unwind, I need a long trip. I need a Saturday night and a cold sip. I need sunshine and gasoline. And give me those miles and mud tires. Smoking back roads like a bonfire. Barefoot on the gas, ball kept on the dash. Windows down, little town blowing right past. When I've lost my soul. since I've seen a hook sink. I got a pull in a box up in the backseat, and I'll be taking the long way to the lake. And if I gotta go slow, it's better that way. County roads, bumping like the stereo. And give me those miles and mud tires, smoking back roads like a bonfire. Barefoot on the gas, bulk up on the dash, windows down, little town blowing right past. When I've lost my soul, they go rolling me right back home. A little mud on the windshield, a little sun on my skin, six pack in the sea, nobody but me. Feels good to be rolling around again. Tires, smoking back roads like a bonfire. Barefoot on the gas, bulk up on the dash, windows down, little towns blowing right past. When I've lost my soul, they go rolling me right back. When I've lost my soul, they go rolling me right back home. Always rolling me right back home.
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt, and that was Granger Smith. And yeah, it kind of sounds like Ranger Smith, but it's not. It's Granger Smith and his tune. Again, that is Rolling Me Back Home. No, it's not. It's Miles and Mud Tires. That's what it is. Just the Rolling Me Back Home line gets stuck in my head. So that is off the Dirt Road Driveway album, which coincidentally, not a coincidence whatsoever, is his the one before 10th studio album. Dirt Road Driveway. He also has what is considered an alter ego, also maybe a crazy cousin, Earl Dibbles Jr. If you look up Earl Dibbles Jr. music as well. And sometimes it's kind of funny because he'll do a show as Earl Dibbles Jr. and not be Granger Smith whatsoever. So at least that's what I hear. I'll have to check that out someday. Granger Smith, he's easy to find on Facebook and Twitter. It's Granger. Smith is one of the most common last names in the United States, so hopefully you know that one as well. Smith, for those of you who don't live in the States. But again, Granger Smith, check him out. I'm in love with the Dirt Road Driveway album. So Ben Merritt taking you all the way through some brand new country music. And this one may or may not be brand new to you. If you think about it, think way back. Remember that song that Toby Keith did that was called Mockingbird? Yeah, you remember that? Well, that was with his daughter, Crystal Keith. And guess what? Now she's a big-name country music artist, or hopefully she will be a big-name country music artist. She's taught her to Mr. Toby Keith, but Toby made her work to get good. Did the whole honky-tonk, and she did everything. She was part of the Oklahoma Opry, as a matter of fact. So she worked her way up. She pulled herself up by her bootstraps. And also she likes to cook, too. She cooks, people. Check out her blog, her cooking blog at thebarnyardbistro.com. She got some good stuff on there, trust me. But again, here is Crystal Keith. This one, the title just kind of speaks for itself. Get your redneck on, folks. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Muddy bang between my toes, kicking back while the river flows, wherever the hell it goes. I don't really care to know. I just want to hear a country song and get my redneck on. Got a beer in both my hands, hanging out with my closest friends, talking about our favorite bands. No worries and no plans, all the way till the break of dawn. Let's get your redneck on. country sons and daughters, don't you wanna holler? Get your redneck on. Carhartts and Wrangler jeans on the branches of an old oak tree. Pass that shine to me. I wanna get a little crazy. We ain't doing a damn thing wrong. So get your redneck on. Hey, yeah, yeah. Skinny dipping in the moonlit water. Cooling off doesn't get any hotter. Hey, yeah, yeah. All you country sons and daughters, don't you wanna holler? Get your redneck on. Hey, yeah, yeah. Skinny dipping in the moonlit water. Cooling off doesn't get any hotter. Hey, yeah, yeah. All you country sons and daughters, don't you wanna holler? Get your redneck on. Get your redneck on. Get your redneck on. Get your redneck on. Find out who your friends are.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/offthebeatenpath. And follow us on Twitter at OTBP Podcast. Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt. And again, this is a big show that I love to do. I love to introduce unheard of artists, new artists, up-and-comers, independents, whatever kind of variation that is. And the gentleman that I have on the line, I would say he falls under a couple of those categories. And I'm glad to actually have him on the phone again because I got to meet this guy. Joe, when was that? Like 2 months ago that you came to the radio station that I work at and we had conversation. It's Joe Allen, everybody.
Yeah, it was about 2 months ago, right around there.
Yeah, and Joe again came in. He impressed the heck out of me. I think you were on the air with me for at least a half an hour, and you brought along a guitar fellow with you, and you guys did a couple of tunes for me, and you really kind of impressed me in person. So I knew that this was definitely a guy that I wanted to get on the podcast, and here he is. It's Joe Allen. You, sir, are kind of an interesting fellow, but we'll get into that in a bit because, Joe, I didn't warn you, but there are icebreaker questions. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Here we go.
Well, I watched a couple of the interviews that you did while you're out on your radio tour, and these ones are nothing compared to some of the icebreaker stuff that they had, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. These ones are easy. Question number 1, where are you right now?
I am in North Carolina.
All right. And question number 2, so basically you're back at home, but
I'm at home right now.
Yeah. Question number 2, what, besides talking to me right now, are you doing? Because we all know that we can do more than one thing when we're on the phone.
Actually, that is all I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure I give you my undivided attention.
Oh, Joe, you're trying to butter me up, man. You don't have to. If you're making
you're an important person.
If you're making a sandwich or something, you can tell me that. You know, it's about lunchtime when you and I are recording right now. So,
actually, if you really want to know the truth, I'm sitting out in my car with the air conditioner on because my dogs like to be really noisy. So I figured going outside would be better. And I tried standing in the garage, but that wasn't working out too good because the humidity right now is really high and it's hot out. So I decided to sit in the car with the AC on.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, Joe. Here in even northern Wisconsin, where I am, it's quite hot and humid as well. So we're feeling it too, man. All right. So again, Joe came in, like I said, about 2 months ago to the radio station that I work at. You know, did a great in person. You know, he's a fantastic musician. I'm not going to lie to you, Joe. It's kind of interesting that you decided to play the bass as a front man. which is kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah, I wanted to be different. I think I'm already different as it is. I mean, I don't really sound like anybody else out there. Hopefully that's a good thing. Everybody I got involved with me, everybody says that it's a good thing because it helps me to stand out. But yeah, I've been playing bass guitar since 1998 or 99. Sorry, I picked it up for the first time when I got into my very first professional band and started playing gigs where I was actually making money, and I was able to quit my day job and focus on music. And I've been doing music ever since to support my family. And bass guitar, just, I don't know, it didn't start out very natural in the beginning. It was pretty rough. It sucked, to be honest. I couldn't play and sing at the same time. It was pretty bad. I almost got fired out of that band because I wasn't able to do my harmony parts that they hired me for because I was focused so much on trying to figure out the bass lines. But I managed to get through it after a few months. I started to catch on, and 14 years later, I've got it figured out. And now it's to the point I can't really perform without it. I feel naked without my bass in my hands.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be a good thing if you were to go on stage without a bass, because you and, well, I've seen you, Joe. I don't want to see you naked, that's for sure. So, but no, I mean, you're a spectacular singer. You're a spectacular bassist. And it's like I said, it's refreshing to see somebody not play like the guitar or only sing. You know, I mean, obviously the bass is a form of the guitar, but you know, it's a specialized form. So it's just kind of refreshing to see. You know, hey, if I'm going to be the lead singer, I got to play guitar, right? No, not necessarily.
Yeah, I was trying to break that mold a little bit. I thought that'd be kind of cool. I mean, my promotion company said that it would probably be better if I learned how to play regular guitar, which I already know how to play regular guitar. So I went and bought an acoustic and started getting my chops back, but it wasn't, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, and I didn't want to look like everybody else. So I grabbed the bass again, and I was like, you know, this is my thing. I'm going to have my own little gimmick. I mean, Little Texas, the lead singer of Little Texas, he was a bass player.
There you go. So,
Little River Band, their lead singer was a bass player.
Yeah, those are good models to follow after, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big Little River Band fan. I love those guys and the Eagles, and I like a lot of that classic stuff, along with a lot of older country, Vern Gosdin, Don Williams, Keith Whitley, all that good stuff.
Got to look back at the roots before you can move on, that's for sure. So
that's exactly right.
All right, Joe, you mentioned that you're at home right now, and at home for you is probably a little bit busier than out on the road because you're a father of, well, some teenagers, huh?
Yeah, I got one teenager, one soon-to-be teenager in a little over a year, and then I got a 5-year-old as well.
Yeah, so you run the whole gamut on taking care of the kids back at home when you're at home, I'm sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything, though. I absolutely love my boys. They're very well behaved. I'm very blessed to have such very well behaved boys. It's crazy. I know I was a turd. I'm not gonna lie. My parents had it rough with me. I was constantly, you know, just, I don't know. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was definitely ornery.
Well, yeah, I mean, boys at, you know, growing up throughout their different ages, they're definitely, you know, wild, I would say, is a good word for it, right?
Yeah, I guess I was maybe a little bit more wild than everybody else. I mean, I didn't get into drugs or alcohol and stuff like that. I still not much of a drinker, but I was always out at those parties. And my parents didn't even know about it. They claimed that they did, but they didn't know. I got real good at getting out of the house without them knowing, and but I never got anything bad, you know. I never got in any trouble. I never had any run-ins with the cops or anything. So, I mean, I guess I wasn't a horrible kid.
Yeah, trust me, it could have been a lot worse, Joe.
lot worse.
Well, the other reason why I say that you got your hands full is because, well, your wife works at a very important place. Most of the country will agree with me. I would have to say that 98% of the United States would agree with me on this. You are now you're a Navy husband or an Air Force husband? Air Force, right?
Air Force husband. Yeah.
Yes. So your wife is on the base constantly down there in North Carolina, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, I I complain about being busy all the time, but here lately I haven't been complaining just because I've been out on the road more over the past couple months than I have my entire music career. Because before I was just doing the casino circuit and stuff, and what my wife has on her plate that she has to deal with all the time is way, way more stressful and busier than what I got. Not only is she dealing with all the stress of, dealing with the Air Force, which, at times definitely is not pleasant at all, but she's holding down that as well as holding down the house while I'm not here with all the boys. Of course, they're good kids, therefore it's not as bad. I mean, if they were, even a little bit ornery, I probably wouldn't be doing this because I wouldn't be able to let her take that on herself, even though she already told me she'd divorce me if I didn't go out and follow my dreams.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. She's very supportive of what you're doing, and that's awesome because, especially with a woman in the position that she's in, it's great to have that support system back there. It's great to be able to get out on the road and spread your wings metaphorically. With your wife being in the Air Force, obviously she'd get that. So.
Yeah, she actually made a pretty funny comment. She said, she's like, so let me get this straight. Let me understand our jobs here. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, my job is serving our country, and your job is serving up country.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, so believe it or not, she inspired me to start writing a song about that.
Well, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of songwriting, you've let's draw this all family ties together. Your dad was a big influence in music to you, wasn't he?
Oh man, my dad and my uncle both huge influences on me. I wanted to be them when I was younger. They had an oldies rock and roll and old country band. And it was more of a jam band. They never ever played any shows. It was always a bunch of us friends that knew how to play instruments. We all got together, and family members, and we, like once or twice a month, we'd get together and we'd play music and until everybody passed out. Well, I was only 16 when they finally let me join the band, and they bought me my first guitar, showed me my first 3 chords, which most of the songs they play only have 3 chords. They're not the greatest musicians in the world, but they know enough to get themselves in trouble. And yeah, that's what threw the fire under me to want to get out there and start doing this professionally and be on the level. Ever since they first let me in the band, that's all I wanted to do is go to Nashville and record a professional album. That was actually the number one thing on my bucket list that I wrote when I was 17, and I got to scratch that off December last year.
There you go. Very cool stuff.
But my uncle and my dad were definitely the biggest influences on me, and my dad he struggled with jobs and stuff growing up, and we were always moving around and never stayed in the same place twice. But my dad, he always worked his butt off, and one of the songs on the album, World's Greatest Dad, is pretty much what that's about. I grew up with my dad hardly at home. He was always gone. He was always working. And by the time I was old enough to know what he was doing at work, I was going to work with him and doing what he was doing. And that's kind of how I grew up.
Well, there you go. And I don't think I can ask for a much better lead-in. Let's take a listen to that one, World's Greatest Dad with Mr. Joe Allen. Joe, we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit more after this, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Daddy worked a lot when I was growing up. He didn't get home till after dark, and he was gone before sun up. But when I got old enough to go and see what Daddy did, I'd spend all my summers gone to work with him. I was the youngest worker that shop had ever seen. But I did the same job as those guys who were twice as old as me. It gave me skills, it made me tough, and turned a boy into a man. And now I know I owe it to the world's greatest dad. As time went by and I got older, we didn't always get along. He'd be disappointed whenever I'd done something wrong. And now looking back, I realize those times that he got mad, that's just part of being the world's greatest dad. Now I'm all grown up and on my own. My dad and I have talked. He said, I wish I'd been there more when you were growing up. I said, Dad, don't you sweat it. It wasn't all that bad. I'm always gonna think you're the world's greatest dad. Then and there that when I have a family of my own, I'm gonna be the best dad this world has ever known. I'll just do what my daddy did, and I know my kids will have a newer model of the world's greatest dad. Yeah, I'll just do what my daddy did, and I know my kids will have a newer model of the world's greatest dad. Love you, Dad.
There you go. That is the first tune that we'll check out from Mr. Joe Allen. That is World's Greatest Dad here on Off the Beaten Path podcast. Ben Merritt, and I've got Joe Allen on the line. Joe, how you doing still?
I am fantastic.
Is the AC still treating you well? And obviously, I haven't heard the dogs, so obviously they haven't gotten out of the house yet.
Nope, they're still locked in the house. They're looking out the window waiting for me to come back in and play with them.
Well, yeah, they're probably confused because you're just sitting in the car. They're like, are we going on a car ride? Where's he going? How come he hasn't left yet? What's happening?
Yeah, the neighbor lady keeps staring at me, wanting to know what I'm doing, too.
Look, see, now I've turned you into that weird guy that just sits in your car all the time.
I don't mind being the weird guy. I'm all right.
There you go. All right. Well, Joe, we're going to do it a little earlier than I normally do because I want to talk about the album and your big single that you released to radio. So we're going to do the Pimp Yourself portion of the show now. If you've got a Facebook feed, a Twitter feed, anything like that, I know you're very active on social media. You kind of have to be when you're an up-and-coming artist. Tell us how we can get in touch so that your fans can follow along and get in touch with you as well.
Yeah, honestly, the best place to find me and all my social links and anything that's going on, all the latest current events, everything is right on my website. I got a link to Twitter, Facebook, anything that has anything to do with Joe Allen and how to get a hold of me is right on my website, and it's joeallencountry.com, and it's spelled A-L-L-E-N.
Yeah, don't misspell it because Joe Allen with an A, he's a completely different kind of guy.
Yep. And don't put joeallen.com because that takes you to a professional soccer player.
Oh yeah,
website.
Yeah. I have noticed that. I did a Google search on you before you came in the first time to the radio station, and I was like, Joe Allen is giving up a professional soccer career to start playing country music.
Well, I like to keep my options open.
Yeah, I mean, if Manchester United doesn't want me for a season, that's fine. I can go push an album or something like that. It's cool. Because I think he actually,
That's exactly it.
I think he does play for Manchester United. I think. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of those British teams over there. So.
Yeah, some of those over there.
So anyway, go check out joeallencountry.com. And like I said, I follow you on Facebook. I follow you on Twitter. I know when you were on your radio tour, there was a lot of really good stuff going up, like videos from you going to the other radio stations and stuff like that. So you sir have at least a budding career in stand-up comedy if you ever want to as well, I think.
That's what me and my guitar player, Jesse, were talking about. We're like, if this music thing doesn't work out, we can always be a musical comedy act.
Yeah, it's a niche market, but it's a niche market that could use another duo in there probably. So
yeah, we'd make it work somehow.
All right. So Joe, the name of the album is Just Warming Up, and it kind of speaks to the fact that you're just getting started, right?
Yeah, very first professional album, and we thought the title of it was fitting because I am just warming up. I don't think I'm gonna just show my face for a couple singles and disappear. I got good backers and great songs coming. This one wasn't a full length album; it was only 8 tracks, but these were my 8 favorite tracks at the time, and I felt like these 8 fit very well together, and are very eclectic on styles throughout the whole album as well. And I really wanted these particular songs to shine by themselves on their own album. The next album, we should have it finished in December, is going to have, so far we got 13 songs picked out. There's a possibility of a 14th song, but we're not sure on that. But yeah, it's every one of these songs on the Just Warming Up album is, I don't know, they're very close to me in my heart. I really feel very passionate about every song on this first album. I still listen to it myself, as weird as that is. At first, it was just awkward to listen to myself sing, but as I'm listening to it, I love the songs. I don't really care for my own personal voice. I guess I'm my own worst critic, I guess. But yeah, I love the songs. I love what they're about. Like my dad says, he words it the best. There's a song on here for every mood you can possibly be in for every day of the week, and it depends on what mood you're in as to which song is your favorite.
That's a pretty good album to have then, because if you're in a good mood, then you listen to track 3. If you're in a bad mood, you listen to track 6. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, that's the way the album should be, I think. Yeah,
and it's like that, and it's got a kind of a pissed off song on there too that talks about our Second Amendment rights and stuff, because I'm a firm believer in us having our guns, and I'm an avid hunter. Actually, my entire family, my wife, all my boys, we all archery hunt. My wife and I are lifetime members of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, so I believe in our gun rights and stuff, and I don't want that to ever go away, as well as some other political views, but that song talks about them. And so, yeah, there's something on there for everybody. There really is.
Well, very good. So, again, the name of that one is Just Warming Up. Looking forward to a new album come December. Can you leak a title on the album at least for us, or is that still not decided yet?
We have a title for the album, but my manager said I am not allowed to say it.
Oh, come on. It's all right, Joe. That's fine. I know. I'm not that...
It's funny. All I'll tell you is that it's going to be funny.
I'm important, but I'm not that important. I know, Joe. It's fine.
I promise, as soon as I'm allowed to tell somebody, you'll be the very first person I tweet or whatnot, and I will get a hold of you.
All right. Well, there you go. Look at that. An exclusive for Off the Beaten Path podcast. Come closer to December. Who knows? So, speaking of funny, but with a sensual and romantic side as well, tell us about the single that you released to radio. It's called Looks Like It's Raining. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, this one, basically, I was getting tired of doing yard work every Saturday when it was supposed to be my day off, and my wife really likes to do yard work. She likes to work in the garden, pull the weeds and stuff, and I I'm not a big fan of that, but I do it because, I want to keep her happy. Happy wife, happy life.
That's what they say.
So that's what they say. It's true. It really is. Well, I got the harebrained idea one night that because she told me that Friday, she's like, yeah, the weatherman says we're supposed to have good weather tomorrow. So I really want to knock out that patch of weeds back there by the garden. And I was like, all right, fine. So like as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, we're not doing anything. And she's like, well, the weatherman says it's going to be nice out. And luckily she didn't catch on, but I got up in the middle of the night, snuck outside, and it took me a little bit to figure out how to do it, but I finally got the sprinkler placed up on top of the roof, and I turned it on. And it was running right over our bedroom window so that it looked like it was raining outside. So I crawled back into bed, and she didn't wake up at all, so I was good to go. We got up in the morning, and she's like, what in the heck is going on? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's raining outside, but it's not. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I think the roof sprung a leak. I was like, no. I look out the window, and she gets up with me. I was like, oh, no, that's definitely raining. And she just gets this smirk on her face, and she slowly turns her head over and looks at me, and she's like, you really don't want to do yard work today, do you? I was like, babe, honestly, I'd rather just stay in bed with you all day. And she's like, that was the cheesiest thing I have ever seen anybody do, and for that, we can stay in bed all day. So it worked.
So the song is a true story. You actually did that and turned it into a song.
Absolutely. It was co-written. I did the majority of the music. I had to have help on the lyrics. I'm not the best lyricist in the world. I'm more of a music guy. So,
yeah.
Brian Banks, it was actually the main guy that came up with most of the lyrics, but the idea was a joint effort.
Well, that makes honestly, I think that makes the song even that much better now, knowing that there's a seed of truth in there. So that is awesome. I love the song. Honestly, like I said, it's funny enough that you chuckle, but it's also, as you said, romantic as well too. So I'm a big fan of it, Joe, and I'm a big fan of you, and I appreciate that you came by the podcast.
Awesome, Ben. I really, really, really appreciate you having me, man. I love listening to your podcast. That was a great one you did with Colt Ford, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was, he. I was really excited when I got to find out that I was going to be able to chat with Colt, because I think he embodies pretty much everything that independent artists are. I mean, the man started his own record label, and now he's giving back to other small independent, artists. And I think, honestly, that's kind of the way that music needs to go. The artists are in charge of the music. So,
absolutely, I'm a big fan of his. We actually follow each other on Twitter and everything. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He's a good person. He's got a big heart, and yeah, I totally agree with you. He's definitely bringing the thunder. And
the big heart is not just because he's a big guy either.
No.
All right. Well, Joe, again, thank you very much. Go inside, play with those dogs, and thanks for stopping by the podcast, man.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
My wife said, let's do the yard work tomorrow. I told her, okay. Then I smiled and said, as long as it don't rain. She said, the weatherman called for sunshine, not one cloud in the sky. I said, well, honey, if it don't rain, that'll be just fine. Then late that night I snuck and put the sprinkler on the house. And in the morning I tried to look surprised when I said it's raining out. It looks like it's raining, looks like the weatherman's a fool. It looks like the yard work will wait a day or two. And I can't think of anything I'd rather do than to spend this rainy day in bed with you. Later on that afternoon like it's raining. Looks like the weatherman's a fool. Looks like the yard work will wait a day or two. And I can't think of anything I'd rather do than to spend this rainy day in bed with you. Cuddled under the covers all day long and through the night. Then early the next morning I knew I must have done something right. Looks like it's raining, looks like the weatherman's a fool. Looks like the yard work will wait a day or two. And I can't think of anything I'd rather do than to spend this rainy day in bed with you. Looks like it's raining. Looks like it's raining.
Anybody got a computer?
Be sure to find Off the Beaten Path on the internet,
Country radio on my computer.
on Facebook,
Internets.
and Twitter.
Nobody can light up a room like you do. I never seen nobody turn it on like that. Like a lighter in the dark, like a shooting star. You're setting little fires in everybody's heart. Yeah, girl, you got us in the palm of your hand. When you smile, that smile, it's like the sun coming up on a blue sky day, and my heart runs wild. And all you gotta do is look my way, and all of my worries just disappear. I'm lost in your eyes. Everything's right in the world for a little while. Girl, when you smile, that smile. The first thing that I see every morning, the last thing I see when I lay down. It's what I miss when I'm gone, why I run back home. The picture in my mind when I'm all alone. The only thing that can turn a bad day around is when you smile, that smile. It's like the sun coming up on a blue sky day, and my heart runs wild. And all you gotta do is look my way, and all of my worries just disappear. I'm lost in your eyes. Everything's right in the world for a little while. Girl, when you smile, that smile. Yeah, girl, when you smile, that smile. Trying to my best to keep it right there on your pretty face every day for the rest of my life. 'Cause when you smile, that smile, it's like the sun coming up on a blue sky day, and my heart runs wild. And
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt. There is Weston Burt. This is the second song from Weston that I have played here on the show. The last one was Lucky Sometimes. This one is Smile That Smile, and it is definitely a good one. Check it out. It's on the Lucky Sometimes EP, and it's making its waves on radio, just like Lucky Sometimes did. So there you go. It's a big follow-up to that one. Hopefully Weston Burt going to catch fire on country music radio and become too big for the podcast. Again, that's a compliment, people. That's a compliment. I don't want to ever hear from you again is a compliment because you're too big for me. I'm all about independence and newbies and unheard ofs until they become too big, and then they can move on. It's fine. I don't get hurt. I don't feel sad. I don't. Find Weston Burt on Facebook and Twitter at Weston Burt. It's easy enough like that. Here she is. This girl is actually making quite the waves on CMT right now with her latest single. She co-wrote Mama's Broken Heart along with Casey Musgraves. And she actually wrote a tune for Keith Urban's new Fuse album as well called Come Back to Me. This is Brandy Clark. Find her on Facebook and Twitter at The Brandy Clark. Again, it's The Brandy Clark. This is her single. This is Stripes. I love this one. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
You were lying there with nothing on but a goofy little grin and a platinum blonde. I can't believe you do that on our bed. I got a pistol and I got a bullet and a pissed off finger just itching to pull it. The only thing keeping me from losing my head is I hate stripes and orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime of passion worth a crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that I don't look good in orange and I hate stripes. Whoa. 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 I could fall in love with a prison guard. I could sell cigarettes in the prison yard. Don't think hard time would be that hard on me. I could pick up trash on the side of the road, but I'd die if I saw someone I know ain't the chains. It's the clothes that's stopping me. I hate stripes, and orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime of passion worth a crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that I don't look good in orange and I hate stripes. Oh, and one shot ain't worth a bad mug shot. God knows I wouldn't be caught holding up a number while the whole town's staring at the picture in the paper of me wearing stripes. There's no crime of passion worth a crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that I don't look good in orange and I hate stripes. And orange ain't my color. And if I squeeze that trigger tonight, I'll be wearing one or the other. There's no crime of passion worth a crime of fashion. The only thing saving your life is that I don't look good in orange and I hate stripes. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Follow us on Twitter
Twitter everything.
at OTBP Podcast.
before it gets better. Being afraid won't keep me here, frozen in time, holding on for dear life. Gonna walk, gonna drive, all the train gonna fly. My heart's done breaking here. I can miss you anyway. We've been strangers in the same house for way too long. Tell me how you're gonna feel coming home and I'm gone, long gone. There's a whole world of happiness on some mountain with a view. Gonna start climbing for the top. Baby, I ain't gonna stop. I wanna start smiling, but there's no denying. It's gonna be pain, yeah, it's gonna hurt before it gets better. But being afraid won't keep me here, frozen in time, holding on for dear life. Gonna walk, gonna drive, all the train gonna fly. My heart's done breaking here. I can miss you anyway. I'll go through the rain, go through the storm, if that's where I need to go. I know when I reach the end, I'm gonna find a rainbow. There's gonna be pain, yeah, it's gonna hurt before it gets better. Being afraid won't keep me here, frozen in time, holding on for dear life. Gonna walk, gonna drive, all the train gonna fly. My heart's done breaking here. I can miss you anyway. I can miss you anyway.
Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt, and there's Sarah Beth. And Sarah Beth has got her tune, Miss You Anywhere. That's off the EP, Kickin' and Screamin'. Sarah Beth making pretty good waves with that one. As a matter of fact, the producer of that EP, Kickin' and Screamin', is longtime member and great producer Dean Sams from Lone Star. Yes, longtime member of Lone Star. Actually, I believe he's their drummer. Yeah, he drums. I think I actually, when did I talk to? No, one of the guys I worked with talked to Dean when they came to town. So, but again, Sarah Beth making waves with that one. Again, Miss You Anywhere off the Kickin' and Screamin' album. Check her out on Facebook, Sarah Beth TX for Texas. And on Twitter, it's SB Swags. I love it when they have fun names, you know? Sarah Beth SB Swags on Twitter. And I wish I could have come up with that. Do like BM Swags. It doesn't work as well. Sorry. All right. That's going to do it for this episode. Again, thank you for joining me. Thank you to Mr. Joe Allen for joining me and talking about family and country music and just basically being an all-around good guy. And again, thank you to Joe Allen for being here on the episode this week. Next week, Mariah Grace. I found her on Twitter. You should find her too. And you'll get to hear from her next week on the Off the Beaten Path podcast. If you've got a favorite band that nobody heard of or nobody knows anything about and you want me to try and help, well, I'll do my best. But I won't know who to talk about until you send me some information. You can either get to me on Facebook or Twitter, OTBP Podcast on Twitter, or Off the Beaten Path Podcast on Facebook, or otbppodcast@gmail.com to email me information as well. So again, I won't know who to talk about or what to say until you help me out. So you got to spread the word a little bit, folks. Thank you very much for joining me again this week, and I'll talk to you next week when Mariah Grace is our guest on Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt.